and this meeting is being recorded. First of all, welcome once again to our email sync webinar today, how to manage emails in OnePageCRM. Just a short introduction of myself. My name is Julia, and I am part of the customer success team here at OnePageCRM. My co-host, Larry, there he is, will keep an eye on our Q&A session today. So if you hover over your screen now, about in the middle of your screen, you're going to see a Q&A icon and pop in all the questions that you have in there, whatever comes up, and Larry will get back to you as quickly as he can. If you think of any questions after today's webinar, we're going to pop in our support email address there at the bottom. And please feel free to reach us out with any questions or any feedback that you may have. We're going to go through just a couple slides and then we're going to kick it off with the demo itself. I am also going to stop my video so we can fully concentrate on the demonstration. There we go. So today we will be going over sending emails to your contacts, creating email templates, creating an email signature, and at the end, we're also going to have a Q&A session where we answer any remaining questions that Larry hasn't gotten to at that point. So, why are we having this webinar today? In OnePageCRM, we believe in the power of email to strengthen your relationships and communicate effectively with your clients. Because of that, we have built a series of very powerful features over the last couple of years that can help you achieve this as well. Some of those benefits are that emails are accessible nearly anytime and anywhere, as long as you're connected to the internet. You can keep in touch with your contacts by dropping them just a really quick email. And by filtering your contacts in the CRM, you can quickly and easily send specific messages to them. For example, a quick update to keep them in the loop just about their sales or their deals. Okay, let's dive right in. I'm going to switch my screen to my test account, and then we're going to start with the actual demo of today. We know that emails are a very big thing to keep in touch with your contacts. As you can see here in my action stream, I have a couple of actions scheduled for today that require me to send out an email from the CRM to my contacts. So just to let you know, in order to send out emails, you have to connect to our email sync feature, and then you can send those emails directly from here to your contact email inbox. A copy of your emails will then also be stored directly in the CRM under the contacts, in the organization view, and also on the email page. So first up here, I got one email I have to send to this contact, and I want to follow up with them after a meeting that I had with them. So I want to share like a couple of points that we discussed, and to do that, I open the contact first, and then I'm going to click on the email address. This email address will open this message window. So now in here, I can either type out my email manually, or alternatively, I can use an email template from the drop-down here. So in this case, because I want to show you off all of the cool tools that we have in our message editor, I'm going to write out this email. So I've already prepared it, and here it is, right? So let's say we just type this in. It looks a bit boring, and it doesn't really catch my eye. So what I want to do is I'm going to use a couple of tools I have here. By clicking on the A, it's going to reveal a couple more options that I have, including changing the font or the sizing of my text. I can make things bold or cursive. I can change the color of my writing if I want to really highlight it. And also I can use bullet points and numbered bullet points. So in here, I want to highlight the things that I discussed with my contact. So I'm going to highlight them first as bullet points. And then I'm also going to make these kind of things bold to really make them jump out. You can also use your keyboard shortcut by holding Control E to make these things bold, as you would normally within the documents, and it looks already a lot better, right? So now, we got a couple more options here at the bottom. You can also attach files directly from your PC, from Google Drive, from Dropbox, or from your documents page that you have within the CRM. You can also highlight text if you wanted to, and then insert a URL link. And you can also insert an inline image if you want to. Some of you may have already noticed that here at the bottom, my email signature was populated automatically before I even did anything. I opened the email editor and bam, there it was. This is quite handy because it not only includes my name, it also has my phone number on it. It has an email address where the contact can contact me under, and also a link to our website and homepage. So I redirect traffic as well. And of course, our logo as well. So next up, to keep really track of my email, I also have the option to track my email with the open tracking feature. So I can either enable it, or I can also disable it if I don't need to check this particular email. And I have the option to get a notification if an email has been opened or not opened, or opened many times and reopened after a long time. As many as I want, I can select as many as I need. So the values I'm going to show you in our next example. So I'm just going to also pop in a subject line up here so it doesn't fall on deaf ears. Still looks a little bit boring. I want them to be catching it. So I'm going to also include an emoji. Now the Windows key for that is by holding the Windows key and then the period sign. This will open this little window and you can select an emoji. Larry will also share how you can open this menu on your Mac PC. Okay, and once I'm happy with my email, I can simply click on send, or I can sketch it for later if I wanted to. So in this case, I'd rather have them have the meeting note as soon as possible, so I'm just going to send it out. Perfect. So now I can complete my action, and then I can go back to my action stream to follow up with the next client. So in this case, this contact is awaiting a quote follow-up from me, right? So I want to open the contact first and then scroll down until I find the deal. So as you can see, we have been quite negotiating here a while. We have defined the needs. So now I just want to send them a quick quote, right? So as you can see, there are a couple of items already. So now up here, we got our icon to email the quote. So I'm going to click on this. And automatically it pops in all of the information that I need. So we got our first name that has been populated automatically. In my quote template, you can see that each and every single deal item has been laid out, including the description, the quantity, the unit price, and the total amount of what they're buying from me. If we scroll down a little, we can also see the order total. And this is one of my deal custom fields. In my case, it's a purchase order. Okay, it has all of my details in here. Again, it has my signature as well. And I have achieved the first name by using an email template and using the values, right? Values are variables that allow you to populate information about your contact automatically. This can be the first name, the last name, full name, organization name, and many more. How exactly that works, we're going to look at in just a little bit. So again, the quotes and the templates are really handy because they're so quickly created and so quickly just chosen that once I have them in here, I give it a quick glance and I can just send it out. Everything has been populated, even the subject line. So again, just on send, it's sent out, and I have my task completed. So now going back to the action stream, the next couple of actions I have here are actually actions that require me to send the same email to multiple contacts. Now I could go through them one by one and type it out, but that wouldn't be efficient. So I'm going to refresh my page and I'm going to select all of my appropriate contacts. And from the bulk update menu here at the top, I'm going to select email. This allows me to send a bulk email to all of these contacts at once. Now I already have prepared my invite to the trade show for these contacts. So I'm going to click on the template dropdown and I'm going to select our invite to Great Paper Push Expo. In here, as mentioned earlier, we got our values. So this is what our variable for the first name, for example, looks like. And down below here, we got our organization name. Now, each of the variable always offers you the chance to put in a fallback. What is the fallback? A fallback is, should there not be the data you'd like to pull from the contact? For example, if you have a contact that doesn't have a first name, instead of having a blank after hi, you have the option to create a fallback, and it will be inserted instead of the missing information. In my case, I put down there, right? So it's gonna, if there's no first name, it's gonna say hi there, and then it's going to go on. For my next one, if there is no organization name, I have selected for your organization. So in case there is no organization name, it will simply say, we're excited to invite you and your team at your organization to join the Dunder Mifflin team at the Great Paper Push Expo. Okay, I still have the option to select my notifications for however I want it, right? In this case, I want to actually show you off that you can select those notifications for specific emails. So now to do this, we want to click on Preview. In the preview, you can see that the first name and the organization have been populated. You can now use the arrows down below to flip through them, making sure everything is in order. Here we can see one of the fallbacks. So this person actually doesn't have a first name saved. We're going to go a little bit further. Here we got a first name, but we don't have an organization name. So it went to your organization and so on. So now I also have the option to edit these individually. So I simply click on it and it allows me to just adjust this one email. For example, I could say, hi, Anton, it was great meeting you on Monday, just to have a bit of a personal touch in here. And I can also, again, enable or disable the email tracking if I need to. And I can select if I want to be notified, especially about this email. You have the option to select notifications for specific emails from the bulk message that you want to send. So if I just need to know if this particular person has opened the email, I simply go to Edit Individual, select my notification, and then I can send it out. So we're going to look a little bit further, right? So now for this, for example, it's not selected. And once I'm happy with this, I can simply click on Send All, or again, schedule it for later. In this case, we're just going to be sending it out all at once. And there we go. Lastly, I'm also going to complete all of these actions because we're done with them. We're going to go here and say Complete Actions, Apply. Perfect. That went really smoothly. Now the next up, what I do frequently is I want to introduce myself to new leads that I've recently added to my CRM, right? So in this case, I prepared a filter. My filter is based on a tag, on their status, and on their created date. So these are all recently added contacts. So again, I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to click on Email once more, and then I want to select my template again. In this case, it's going to be introducing Dunder Mifflin. And once I'm happy with this, again, it's really quick with templates and with bulk emails. I can simply click on Preview, make sure all is in order, and then I can send all or schedule it for later. So what does it look like scheduling it for later? So we're going to have our little pop-up over here. And then I have the option to select the date. So in this case, I want them to see it first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to select tomorrow. So I'm going to go for 8 a.m. and schedule. Bam, done. Where can you find your emails in the CRM? But first up, you're going to see them in the timeline of the contact. So if we open them and then scroll down, you can see bulk email has been sent. We even can click on emails. Oh, it hasn't appeared here yet. It will though. But once it's in here, you have the option to view it here. You also have the option to see it from the organization page and from the email page as well. On the email page, they have the option to filter your different emails by team member, for example, up top here, or if you select a specific pre-saved filter. You're also going to notice that we have a couple of different folders here on the side. So we got our incoming emails. We got our open tracking emails, right? So here we can see all of our emails that we have sent previously, and we can see if the email has been opened, how often the email has been opened, and when the email has been opened. You may remember at the very beginning, we have sent Barbara a quick email and she already opened it, very eager to get in touch with us. That is great. So if I needed to, I could give her a call because she seems very interested in the product. Next, we got our scheduled emails. So here's where you can find those. We also have the option to see any drafted emails. So in case that you want to pick it up later, here's where you can find them. All emails is self-explanatory. We got our sent emails. And lastly, we can also see all of our quotes. As earlier, we have sent London a quote, and here's where we can find this. You can also click into it to view the email if we want to. Okay, now how can you actually create email templates to be as efficient? So we want to click on our user profile here up top and then go to Apps and Integrations. We're scrolling down to Communication Apps and then to Emails. And here we're going to switch screens to Templates. As you can see here, we already have a couple of templates available. To create a new template, you want to click over here on the orange button. Now, the only thing really needed would be the template name and maybe some of the email content. I have already prepared that as well. So I'm just going to copy that here, and we can pop our content in here. Make sure there's not too many spaces in between. And then we can make it look nice, right? So for example, in this email, I want to let my users know about a new product that I'm going to share soon. So I'm going to pop that as a subject line in here. And I also want to include variables, right? So I want to say, hey, and then I want to have the first name. So we're going to click here on our variables. I'm going to select my whichever option I want, in my case, first name. And this is what it looks like. So now we want to also add a fallback just in case there is something empty, right? So we're going to just move our cursor before the curved bracket. We're going to say whatever fallback you want to choose. In my case, I'm just going to pop in there. And it will then, if there is no first name, again, pull there in there. Now I also want to make this window a little bit bigger so I have a better overview of it. And I want to make this bold to really highlight what's new, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm also going to make it a little bit bigger so that it's really jumping at you. And I also want to let them know how they can order this. Here we go. Lastly, I could also pop in the order now link, right? So I'm going to remove this, going to highlight what I want to insert the URL link, going to click on insert link, and in here I can just pop in my link. So I'm just going to say sample.com and insert. And here's our link. Perfect. Now we just have to give it a name. So I'm just going to say new template for order. Now you also have the option to make it visible to all users, right? Or if it's just meant for yourself, you still have the option to include any files from your PC, Dropbox, again, whichever tools we had earlier in the email editor, you also have right in here. And once we're happy with this again, we can simply click on Save. Okay, lastly, I'd like to show you how you can create an email signature directly in the CRM. So you want to click here on Configuration, and then we want to scroll down to our email signature. You can either enable it by default or disable it here as well. So I'm going to click on my pencil icon. It looks a little boring, doesn't it? I actually like to change the writing of this. So I'm going to highlight this all. Oops. Highlight this. Oh, it doesn't want to. Now we go. And then I can select whichever font I'd like to use. In this case, I'm going to go for this one. Looks quite fancy. And I also want to highlight my name a little bit more. I'm going to give this a different color. There we go. And we make it bold to really make it jump in your face. Again, you also have the option to use a URL link or an inline picture, for example, for your company logo. And once you're happy, you want to simply click on Save, and we're done. Okie dokie. Now, for anybody who's not familiar yet with our email sync feature, we have two connection types available. The first one is the full two-way email sync that I'm currently connected to. This will store any incoming or outgoing emails for your contacts saved in the CRM automatically. So whenever you send an email to your contact or you receive an email from a contact whose email address is saved, it will be stored automatically. Now, our second option is called Send and Save Manually. This will only store emails that you send directly from the CRM to your contacts. Any incoming emails or replies from those contacts will not be stored automatically. It can be quite handy, for example, if you have any sensitive information in those emails and you don't want everybody in the CRM to see them. Emails are visible to every user in the CRM. Perhaps you want to share in our chat there what kind of email clients you are currently using. Perhaps you're using Gmail or Outlook 365 or something else. We'd love to hear from you. I'm just going to give it a minute. Okay, we have a couple Outlook users. Very good. Our email sync actually allows you to connect to either email accounts hosted via Gmail or Outlook 365. However, if you do have an email client that is not hosted by either of those, you still have the option to forward emails to the CRM to store them by using our email capture address. Now you can find that capture address on the same page here. So we just want to scroll down and we have our need to forward emails and create new contacts in the CRM. We click on the drop down and here's our email capture address. Right, so I'm just gonna click here and it's available for me to copy. And then my email client, whichever it is, I can simply click on forward, pop in my email capture address and send, and it will be stored under the correct contact. Okie dokie, that's it from our demo version today.